tough afternoon, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Look, sometimes you look at the game. I've just said to the lads, and we looked a bit flat. We didn't really look at ourselves today. And sometimes you've got to give credit to the opposition as well. I thought they were good. They matched us well, and 1 more seconds. I'm just a bit disappointed in the manner of the goals we conceded. But sometimes you've just got to take that, and then, no excuses. It is what it is. They're a good side. They're showing that. I think 2 losses in 17. Now they've gone and it's showing. They've got a good side. But one thing today I was just disappointed in, as I said, was the goals and the fact we didn't really compete as well as what we have been doing over the last few weeks. So, but you're going to have them days, and you've got to find something excellent. That's what I said to the boys. That's when you've got to roll your sleeves up and hope that to stay in the game. And then when you stay in the game and keep it at 1-0, then you're hoping that maybe the set piece helps you out and gives you that little glimmer of hope and gets you the chance, and you stick it away, and then you walk away thinking, oh, how have we got away with that one? So it's a learning curve for our lads and a learning curve for us. So yeah, well, no excuses. It is what it is. They were the better side in the day, and rightfully won it.
And it felt just slightly better. You weren't terrible. They weren't amazing. They were just slightly better.
Yeah. But they're efficient. They were efficient in what they done, and they done the right things at the right times. And decision making, what they done was really good. And ours wasn't today, and that's shown. Because we didn't really sustain any attacks. We sort of had attack, and then it just sort of whimpered out. And it was never really where you think, oh, all right, we've got a little bit of grip of the game here. It was always that sort of, we'll have a shot, and then that's over, it's finished, and what we've got to do is sustain, recycle, all that type of stuff. And whereas I asked for a lot of whiff today, I didn't feel that we did it. We just things what we spoke about in the week, we just didn't execute as well as what we have done over the last few weeks, and that's why we weren't able to get the result we wanted, really, and the performance we wanted.
I thought one positive was the way you adapted. The first 10 minutes, the first 15 minutes, Blackpool's pace looked like it was really going to put you under a lot of pressure, but you kind of adapted, didn't you? Changed, and it looked more solid.
Yeah. Look, and that's what you've got to do, because they've got two top centre forwards in this league who work hard, and they've got good pace. So, and yeah, look, I can't say more for my lads. They're giving everything, and the effort and everything was there today. It was just wasn't what we wanted, and that's that goes without saying. Blackpool got the win because of that.
You mentioned that you got the width, and you mentioned the pace. Were the players that you was performing this afternoon, were they playing to your tactics then? Because there was a subtle change there today. I thought a subtle change in terms of who was playing the longer ball rather than the shorter ball today. Was that a tactical change?
No, I spoke about they have spaces in behind, but the lads, and I just thought when we you've got to put it in behind to open them spaces up, and we just got that wrong. It was just, as I said, the decision making. Sometimes they were going long when they didn't need to go long. The pass was on for the shorter one. So yeah, it just sometimes these things happen, and I think there's just too many of them who were just below par for where they've been over the last few weeks today, and that's why we've got the result and the performance what we did.
What's the reaction been like downstairs? I mean, you seem very calm. Is that the approach?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, listen, it's one loss. We've matched more than everyone in this league. I think this has probably been the one where we've got to take a bit of learning from and see them, because as I said, it's no mean feat to try and beat Blackpool. 2 losses in 17, to doing that in this league is fantastic. But they've got Stevie, who it's always going to be tough, and Ags, who's behind them. So it was never going to be an easy game. But it's one which I'm just disappointed because our lads didn't turn up. But that's going to happen.
Any injuries? We noticed Ben Ferry was just stretching himself out. Tyler Roberts did a 90-minute shift today. Yeah. Is anybody out there who's a bit sore? No,
gladly everybody come off has just made the changes early just to try and give us something different. Because we're going to be on the ball a bit more, just try and give us a bit of balance. So bring TJ on and Luke to give us a bit of balance on the back line, and then Nesta for Mitch. And just because, as I said, the lads looked a little bit of it as if sometimes when you're in that mode, you sort of you look like you're in a bit of a daze, and I felt that really today. I felt that like too many of them was, but look, I can't fault them. They've been brilliant. I've been delighted with them and what they've done and what they've put out. What they've got to do now is take this on the chin, learn from it, and then we go again next week.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? That you just need to dust yourself down after this, because although there's a chance to pull yourself further clear, it's still that 6 point gap, isn't it? So you're still, it's absolutely in your hands.
I don't know how much the gap is, mate. I don't know. I'm just concentrating on us. Not bothered about whatever anyone else does. I'm just disappointed that we didn't get more points and pull someone closer to us today. So, look, yeah, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep going on. We've just got to control the controllables and just keep looking after ourselves, and we've got to keep pushing each other, not really worry about anybody else.
Yeah, just finally going to go and catch up with Steve Bruce now then?
Yeah, Steve and his staff. I know Banksy as well. I played with Banksy. Felt weird because all these players now who you used to play with are all now in coaching slots, and you're like, we are getting old, all the grey and everything's coming.
You haven't changed today. You've aged back than Steve Bruce.
Well, I've got a few years on Stevie, but yeah, he still looks good for his age. Yeah. But look, delighted for Steve. He's a great man, great character, and he's been great for the game. Fantastic what he's done, and to see him in League One now and still with the enthusiasm of what he was when I was playing against him as a player. I think that might be one of the first times he got the better of me actually, because I wasn't playing. So I'm sure he'll take that one today, because when he was at Sunderland I always used to beat him. So so he used to give me it, so I'll have to give him a bit today.
Well, look, bad luck today.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Thank you.